Hey guys, author CJ Anaya here. Welcome back to Author Journey. This is going to be a fun little tutorial that's going to go over a different platform that you can use to get yourself out there, to get your books out there, to engage and interact with like-minded people, but also to touch base with people who may have questions about writing. Facebook is great, obviously. Twitter is great. There are tons of platforms for authors that you can use to get out there, but something that I found that maybe not a lot of authors know about is a place called Quora. Quora.com. It's Quora.com. And Quora is fun because it's a place where people go to just ask questions, basically. They ask questions and they look for people to answer them. And so what you're looking at right now is my profile on Quora. And I started this up, man, I can't even remember how long ago. Maybe like 6 months ago, just because I'd heard about it. I thought it was pretty cool. I knew that I could get on here and answer questions about writing and marketing and publishing. And I could put myself out there, put my books out there, put my website out there. At the moment, you're seeing, right now I'm transitioning from my old blog to a WordPress blog. It's very intimidating to try to maneuver through WordPress. I don't know why it took me so long to start doing that. I think I was scared. I was scared of learning a new thing. Never be scared of learning a new thing. So at the moment, my previous website was called the Blonde Gorilla, Guerrilla Marketing, Writing, and Self-Publishing Your Book. But obviously I've changed it to Author Journey, and I'm trying to do a new look for my website. So once I get my website set up and everything's good to go, that's going to be new information that's up here in this part where you put your bio. Okay, so you get on here and you introduce yourself and you talk about what it is that you're really good at, what you are an expert at. And some people are going to say, well, I'm not really an expert, but if you know anything about anything, then you are an expert, because obviously there are going to be people on here who don't know, and you can teach them. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about writing books. I've answered a lot of questions about relationships. I've answered a lot of questions about being honest, just interesting things that you don't think people would really ask, but a lot of people do ask these questions. And so I answer them, not just the questions about writing and marketing and publishing, but just personal questions that help people get to know me better, and that get me out there a little more, and they can find my books and my website a little easier. And so it's a great platform for that. I want you guys to take a look right here. So far, all of my answers have gotten 77.6K views. So all of my answers combined have gotten that many views within the last 6 months. And to be honest, I don't know whether that's good or bad. I haven't actually ever gone and compared notes. It's probably not as good as a lot of people get. But it's fun because you can get on here and answer different people's questions. And so this is a question that someone had written. And what's nice about Quora is that if a question is asked that kind of fits under your wheelhouse, you'll get like an email or a notification, and also a notification right up here, requesting that you answer it. And then there are some people on here who will notice that you are an expert in this field, and then they'll ask you to answer that question specifically. So that's really great too. I have a lot of people ask me questions on here. It's how I get ideas for YouTube posts and blog posts when people are asking these very pointed questions about writing, marketing, and self-publishing, or just questions about fiction, what my opinion is on a certain book. It's a lot of fun to go in and write that answer and then think, obviously if one person wants to know about this, another person wants to know about this too. So I should make a video about it, or I should write a blog post about it. And you're adding value, and you're helping others, and you're networking, and you're creating relationships, and it's fun. I really enjoy it. So how can I stay motivated to write fiction as a copywriter? I don't do a ton of copywriting anymore, but I do know how difficult it is to stay motivated when you're just, when you've got too many jobs. You're trying to write your fiction and you have too many things going on. So I was like, I'll take a stab at that answer, And then there's Another question, I'm looking for a co-author to publish a book. How can I meet co-authors? And so I told them about Upwork, which is a cool place to find freelance writers. So you can go and answer all of these questions. And then there was a question that someone specifically asked me, would you ever date someone outside of your own race? And I was like, well, I just so happen to be married to a Mexican, so obviously yes I would. And so I wrote this, personalized answer about that. And then there's a picture of me and Joe when we were at a book awards ceremony. So that was a lot of fun. And I've had a lot of people upvote that. So let me just show you this right here. This, maybe you'll be able to see it if I click on this and scroll down. Oh, and here are the pictures, wedding pictures, getting personal here. Okay, so this post, and I didn't do this very long ago. This was just a fun personal post. And it got 6.5K views, and that, I think it's been 2 weeks, so that was cool. And then 40 people upvoted it, and that means that people thought it was a great answer. And when people upvote, it gets more visibility. So a lot of times if you can get a lot of people to upvote your answer, it's going to show up on the homepage of Quora in front of thousands of eyes, which is great exposure for you. So I think that this is just a fun platform to get noticed, and you're answering questions that are fun. You're an author and you're a writer and you're interested in doing this, and you may feel like you don't have anything to offer on Quora, and you may not be interested in teaching anybody about writing or marketing, but you could find other things on here that really interest you, and answer questions that you know quite a bit about. Maybe you've been on a weight loss journey, and there are questions about weight loss. Maybe you're a marriage counselor, even though you want to, start writing your own books, but maybe you know about relationships and want to give answers, So all of these things can tie in and come back to you and your platform. And when people see your bio, they notice, oh, this person's an author. Oh, this person has a website. And then they get to know you a little more. So it's a great way to make yourself real, make yourself personal, develop relationships, and just kind of express yourself. I've also found that this is a great way to push through a little bit of writer's block sometimes. If I just feel like I can't write anything, I'll get on here and start answering questions, and pretty soon all that free writing starts to get the juices flowing again. So that's fun. How many books should I write as an independent author? See, so I've answered a lot of questions about that, and I take these questions and I just find that it's very helpful to answer them on YouTube as well. So that's Quora. Let me just show you this so you get your notifications right here. So this author is hosting a session. You can actually go and answer or ask questions from her. So that's cool to get notifications about people who are willing to do sessions on here. And you can hobnob with important people. And then, right here, someone is following this question. Can you write an answer? What are some tips for an essay that is about sometimes the heart can see what the eyes can't? Now, I'm actually not really good at essays. I didn't like them in college very much. So that's probably not something that I would answer, because I wouldn't have much to offer. So you just scroll through here and see, someone's requested that I answer something. What are your thoughts on the short story called The Lottery by Shirley Jackson? Well, I could answer this, but I have to go read The Lottery, although that sounds really familiar to me, actually. Did I read that I remember reading something called The Lottery in high school. It was a short story that we had to write some stuff on, so maybe I do know. I'll have to go back and check that out. How do you publish short stories on Amazon? See, this would be fun to answer. I know all about publishing short stories and novellas, and I think I will probably go back in and write an answer, and then I might even make a YouTube video. See, so that's a lot of fun. And then the answers that I wrote recently were viewed 1,950 times this week. So that's 1,950 people, possibly that many. I don't know, unless I've got repeat viewers who are looking at my answers. So you're seeing how you're kind of broadening your reach there. That doesn't necessarily mean tons of people are coming to your website and buying your books, but you gain momentum. I actually didn't have a ton of views when I first started out, but the more answers you put out there, the more questions that you answer. You can even write your own questions if you can't find things on here that you want to answer. You could think up your own questions and ask them and then answer them. That will give you a lot of good exposure too. Oh, and then someone upvoted my answer. How can I stay motivated to write fiction as a copywriter? So I answered that question, and then Grant Looper upvoted it. He thought that it was a great response. Yay! How much fun is that? So this is just a fun website. I really enjoy it. And then you'll always get notifications of questions for you that Quora will ask you just because of what they think you might be good at. Since I'm a writer, they're like, why can't you answer this? And it's like, well, I don't do essays. Essays are so hard, having to have a specific format. I remember college essays. Those were not very fun for me. How come so many people have never heard of copywriters? Oh, I don't know. But that might be interesting to look into and answer. And then there are answer requests, which I kind of saw in the notifications. Yeah, there they are right here. And if you decide to answer them, you just click on this. How do you publish short stories? And then you type in your answer. And you have the option to post your answer to Twitter and Facebook, which means that you're not only answering it here, but you're getting a link sent out to other platforms too. So I really think you guys should get on here, go on Quora.com, set up your profile, make it look really nice. Make sure that, if you have any books out, you put at least one link to them, or if you have your author website put together, put a link to that. And then, put in the things or choose the categories that you're passionate about, whether it's not just about writing, but relationships or weight loss or writing songs, music, salsa dancing, anything that you can think of. It's going to be on Quora. Everybody asks questions about everything. It's so cool. I find that there are a lot of people from India on here who write about some of the arranged marriage situations that they're in, and they're asking for advice. Oh, some of that is so heartbreaking, but I get on here and I read about these people who are going through such difficult times and dealing with so many different things, and it's amazing kind of the outpouring of love that people give them and the advice that people give them to help them through it. And I don't know why, but I'm fascinated by those stories. I think it's just because I'm so empathetic or sympathetic to people's tragedies. I want to help them. So I don't know. You can find a lot of interesting things on here. Anyway, I've rambled on enough about that. So get on Quora.com, build that profile, start answering questions, and don't look at it as, oh my gosh, I'm going to sell tons of books now that I'm on Quora. It's more of just slowly building an audience, as in anything, taking your time and enjoying that journey and that process, because now that I've been doing it for a while, it's starting to snowball. It's, I'm getting more upvotes and more eyes on my books and more eyes on my webpage, and I'm making friends on here too. So always worth it to make friends wherever you go. Anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. We'll see you next time.